As soon as the two girls left, Ochako went over to the window and peeked out, expecting him to be out there like usual. And he was. Izuku was sitting down on the grass, one leg stretched out and one bent, indicating he'd just finished training. Training. It was dark outside and she saw a few stars blinking in the sky. She went over to the fridge and picked out a cool water bottle, slipping on her. The smell of grass filled the air, and it was comforting in a way. The quietness of the night gave of a peaceful atmosphere. She saw his back as he stared up at the sky. He was in short sleeves, revealing his well-built arms and powerful legs. She almost couldn't believe how the school uniform hid all of this too well. She liked seeing him in natural clothes. It felt right. Her footsteps alerted him and he quickly twisted his head to see who was there. She smiled and she smiled and waved at him, and he physically relaxed. She stopped right next to him and extended the bottle to him. Here. Oh, thanks. He took it graciously. As he unscrewed the top, she graciously. As he unscrewed the top, she plopped down next to him and hugged her knees to her chest. What are you still doing out here, silly? She asked with a tilt of her head. He gulped mouthfuls of cool water and she couldn't help but admire how the muscles on his sweaty neck shifted and how his Adam's apple bobbed. A tiny trail of water slipped from the corner of his lips and ran down his chin and neck. Finished, he sighed in relief, then used the back of his hand and arm to wipe at his mouth. Just wanted to relax a bit. It's really quiet out here, he said, screwing the cap back on and leaving the bottle on the grass by his side. That end. I guess I wanted to see the sky a little longer. Sighed. That end. I guess I wanted to see the sky a little longer. The sky. Ochako looked up, seeing the stars twinkling far away. Yeah, he whispered. I don't know why, but seeing the sky like this. He reached a hand up. From his point of view, a star was right beneath his palm. It reminds me anything is possible if you try hard enough, he said, closing his hand into a fist, imagining the little star in his hand. He caught her staring at him with interest and he scratched the back of his neck bashfully. I know, it kinda sounds childish, huh? She shook her head no. That's really nice, Deku, she said. Looking down at her own hand, scar-free and soft, and wondered if her hard work would actually get her to her destination. Was she working hard enough? She didn't have the battle scars Izuku had, and she hadn't done anything to stand out from the other students. Where would that get her? No, she couldn't think like that. She would make it her hard work would lead the way. She closed her hand into a strong fist. Let's do our best. Deku. She told him in a positive tone. He looked at her in surprise, then grinned and held up his fist as well. Yeah, he said. He punched the sky, and she did the same. The sky, and she did the same. Let's go. Plus Ultra. They both yelled in unison before bursting into a fit of laughter. The remaining girls who had stayed in the common room watched from the window with soft smiles. Along with their regular school schedule, those who preferred to not look like idiots for the event attended the short dance classes as well. It only took a change in music to get some of the students motivated. After the slow music that caused most to step awkwardly, the teacher decided they knew the basics and switched the music. Something more upbeat played and she gave them free range to dance however they wished. They knew how to hold their partners now, and that had been the task Uabami wanted them to ace, because if they were confident enough to hold their friend's hand, then they were confident enough to dance. The happier music was sometimes accompanied by laughter and jokes, because it was all fun and games. The lesson wasn't mandatory, and they had nothing to lose, so they continued. Some students, like Todoroki and Yaoyorozu, seemed to prefer slower music, while some liked to go wild. Ochako didn't mind either. She got to laugh and spin with Izuku, but she also got to have the slower, quieter moments with him. They'd gotten used to holding each other. Heck, he even got brave enough to pick her up at some point. They giggled like maniacs, their voices lost in the noisy room. Later on, they went to try on their clothes. The boys and girls split to enter the changing rooms. The shoulderless dress fit her snugly, though she needed Asui's help with the zipper on the back. She wore her fingerless pink gloves to add a little extra color to her hands. Finally, she added a pink flower hair clip in her hair. Giving it the all okay, she handed it over and was told it would be sent to her with her student number attached. In 2 days, her dress arrived neatly, and an email was sent to everyone, reminding them of the upcoming event. They still had a week left, but it was clear their nervousness had turned into excitement. They didn't need the dance classes anymore, but Ochako and Izuku still went there. It wasn't that they needed it, it was just something they got used to. It was the last few days for the class, and because the lessons were optional, and most kids already got the basics down, no one went there anymore. Uwabami would just sit in the next room and drink tea. She gave them full permission to use the music player, because, well, there wasn't anyone else there, so they used it gratefully. It was more about having fun together than practicing. There wasn't any other way to be this close to him. There wasn't any other way for her to hold him and touch him like this and get away with it when gliding her hand across his shoulder, down his arms and over his hand. She knew where each scar was. He wasn't as shy around her anymore. He would place his hand on her lower back and push her closer to him. He wasn't afraid to touch her. Skin to skin contact became a natural thing. They even started holding hands in public without realizing what it must have looked like to others. He still liked to train his quirk outside. She always waited for him, because the moment he took a break, she'd go over to him with a bottle of water and sit down next to him. Don't you ever take one with you? She asked in amusement. Sorry, sorry, he chuckled, taking another sip. She was kind of glad, because that way, she had an excuse to see him. It also felt nice to know she was being helpful in a way. She looked up at the sky, dark and decorated with starlights. It's so pretty. He looked up as well. Yeah, I don't think I'll get tired of this. Do you do this every night? She asked him. He sat the bottle aside and leaned his head back, his legs crossed and arms behind him to support his weight. Nah, after I started training like this, I guess I kinda like just being out here. Yeah, she agreed with him, hugging her knees closer to her chest. I like it here, too. He always worked himself to the limit. What was she still doing? She looked down at her hand and felt a sort of emptiness. He had marks that showcased his hard work. She only had the pink pads on her fingers to show. Was she really trying hard enough? Uraraka. Well, she must have looked like an idiot, inspecting her hand like that. She laughed nervously to throw him off. It's nothing. I was just thinking, how hard you always work. You never give up. His cheeks pinked, still not used to taking compliments. It's nothing. I just need to get used to using my quirk better, that's all. He said, staring at the scars on his hand. She gently grabbed his hand and pulled it toward her, running her thumb over the bumps and uneven skin. He blushed a bit, but didn't pull away. Does it ever hurt? She asked quietly. Just some stiffness, nothing I can't handle. Don't worry, he told her. The hand she was holding curled, trapping hers in a gentle hold. You've been working hard, too. A few weeks ago, when I walked you back, you were so tired because you overworked yourself. He brought her hand closer to him. I know you want to become stronger. You're working really hard, Uraraka, and, sometimes, I get worried you might collapse. Deku. Please, I know you. I know when you're upset and tired and you try to hide it. Just, can you take it easy a little? Just a little break, he begged her. I want you to get stronger, but I don't want to see you get hurt. Deku, she felt her heart flutter in her chest. He was gripping her hand tightly now. He knew it was a difficult request. Please, he begged one more time for hope's sake. She knew she'd collapsed multiple times during training. She'd gone over the weight limit and held it for so long, too long. Her body tried to tell her to stop, that it couldn't take more. She'd usually ignore the warning signs because how else was she supposed to get used to this? She needed to go beyond. Deku, I can't just stop. Not now. Oh, you don't need to stop, he told her quickly. You just have to take it slow. My hands, they're like this because I approached things too fast. My body couldn't take it now. Instead of going 100 present and breaking myself, I use 5 and keep my arms and legs in one piece. He uncrossed his legs and let them stretch out in front of him. I know 5% isn't much, but I'll start there and work my way up. You can do that, too. I'll help you make a plan. She blinked in surprise. Wait, what? Yeah, we can make a plan and see what works. You could train in short, easy sessions so your body can get used to it. We can make a schedule and maybe changing your diet a little might help, too. My My diet. Yeah, I changed up my diet when I began training more, and I made sure not to overwork myself. Quote dot. She knew she must have missed something. She had only been focusing on her quirk, completely ignoring her physical needs. Her body couldn't stand the tension she was forcing it to endure. She'd been doing it all wrong. She sucked in a breath and bravely asked, Can you show me how, Deku? He saw the determination in her eyes and he nodded firmly. Yeah, let's get stronger together. She suddenly threw her arms around his neck and squeezed him. Thank you so much, Deku. She rubbed her cheek against his reddening one. Their sudden cuddle toppled them over and Izuku fell back, bringing her with him. They were chest to chest, and he felt her weight on top of him. She looked down at him, her face only inches away. He felt and heard her every inhale and exhale.